All right, today we're gonna start a new project. This is an old sign trailer I picked up off of a government auction site. It would typically be on the side of the interstate that would say like, slow down, you're going too fast type thing. It had radar in it and everything. I bought it to fix, but the parts are ridiculously expensive, so we're just gonna turn it into a little trailer. I think it's 3 foot by 6 foot, or at least that's what it should be. It has a 3,500 pound axle in it, so it should be a pretty good like motorcycle trailer or something like that. First, we gotta get all this crap off of it. So let's get started.
Okay, before we get started, I'd love to take you around this thing. It's pretty cool, actually. It's got 4 jacks on each side so that you can like make it level and whatnot on the side of the road. It had a bar right here that would go through the wheels, the spokes on the wheels, in order to so then somebody doesn't steal it. It had a lock on it and stuff. I have the bar, it's up in my scrap metal up there, but the tongue is removable. Got that chilling over here, but the tongue is removable, which is pretty cool. And it also has a whole bunch of like a sub wiring connector type deal for the lights there, and then a ground that would plug in from the front of the hitch there. I think we'll be welding that. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what we'll be doing, and taking off quite a few of these jacks here, moving one to the front. That's kind of the plan anyways, make it more like a normal trailer. This is the sign message board, and we'll move that up here because we gotta take it all off and whatnot. It has a counterweight here, which will be kind of funny later. I think that'll end up flying up real fast and whatnot, but we'll try to stay safe. It locks in down here. It used to have a solar panel on it. I already took that off because it is solar powered. So there's 4 batteries underneath of there. It's really cool. We'll get it open and I'll show you. All the wiring used to run down here. The solar panel was here. It flipped up. Like I said, I went ahead and took it off. The wiring runs through the channel. We'll be using a lot of this steel in order to build a rear ramp and whatnot on this thing. You can see this little tub down here. That's where all the batteries and whatnot are. I already took off the radar that used to say, yo, you're speeding, slow down. So that's already off of here, but let's get this thing opened up. I had to move it sideways because I think it'll hit my garage door from there. It used to have another lock type thing down here, so then it would lock this down. I went ahead and took that off too, but this has some gas assisted struts on it. All the melted snow is flying off of there right now. And it used to have a whole bunch of LED panels on the inside of the thing there. Hi, you can see me. But I took all those panels off. That's what was broken. And it just was, they wanted like $4,000 for 6 broken panels. So I just said no, we'll make a trailer out of it. But I do think this would be an incredible thing for like an outdoor TV. It's ventilated, it has power and whatnot. So we're gonna try to save this and maybe try to sell it later on down the line or use it for myself. But we'll get this thing popped open and start taking it all apart. But I wanted to show you inside of here, which is pretty cool. This is where all the batteries are. Right now I don't have them plugged in, but they do plug into each one of these terminals. It has a solar controller and all kinds of stuff for this particular unit. Like I said, I already took the radar out of it, but the radar was in here as well. I'll show you guys a little bit better view here. But my plan is to create a separate trailer that will almost work as a solar generator type of deal. So stay tuned for that. We're going to pull the parts off of this one in order to build that, but this trailer is just too good. The trailer's too, the axle's too big in order to just make it into a solar generator or solar backup. So that's kind of my plan. But I guess let's start by taking this sucker off. Do that. I plan to use the bracketry, the black bracketry that's on the rear of this sucker. So, excuse me. So we have to get this this cover off first. Take some bolts out, just so it's more manageable later. Of course, it had to snow last night, so that's why everything's wet. But that was annoying. But it was just 67 degrees like 2 days ago. So. And now it's snowing, so that's annoying. But whatever. Roll with the punches. So I'm going to take out this bolt
on either corner here. Actually, I have no clue how I'm gonna get this down because it's really heavy. I'm still thinking here. Yeah, I have no clue how I'm gonna do it. Oh boy. I guess we'll just go for it. Ah, that changes things drastically. The nut's captive, so that's really good news. Because we can go with my original plan, which was just to leave it down, and leave it laying here. So that's pretty awesome. That makes me happy. Whoa, Bessie. Okay. Maybe not the smartest idea, but it was an idea. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, Bessie. Okay. Huh. Could I get a hand? If you could just hold this, that'd be great. Just kidding. Oh, it's an awful sound. Okay. So now that we got this sign thing off, that's pretty awesome. Well, that's not bad at all. I thought that was gonna be way worse. So I gotta figure out how to move it though. Hopefully I don't need any of these tools behind that sign. I don't want to move that. Oh no. Okay. I think we're good. Let's go. Alright. Now I already unbolted this, so this should come out. We're gonna use that in a second. We'll work on getting this bracket off, which we'll need, at least for my original plan. We'll need that. A lot of this stuff is stainless, which is pretty nice. All this hardware. Alright. Let's try not to die. Hey, let's go. Now this thing's super heavy, I know it, because it has a huge counterweight on the bottom of this sucker. So I gotta figure out how to get this thing off. I do need some of this steel though. Guess let's start by taking these gas struts off, because that's not gonna help us at all. I thought these were self-tapping screws. They're not. They're bolts. But the nuts are inside the channel. Yeah, again, if you guys could just grab this, that'd be nice. Need a strap. All right. We're getting somewhere. And my original plan was to cut it right there. Gotta think about how I want to do this. First, I'm gonna work on this this captive pin over here. I'll show you. Right here, on the other side there, you can see a pin that already has a couple safety things I took out. This, I believe it's a pin through here, but I think a wire runs through there as well. I think that's that runs through there, I believe. So I need to drill these out because it's a rivet. I want to do this first, so then my plan is to cut this off because I want to use that structure. But if I cut that off, then I'd have to retie it and find a new place to tie it down and whatnot. So, try to get this off. There we go. That's exactly what I thought. Cool. Okay. I want to save this wire. I won't need all of it, but I want to save it because that's what originally connected to the solar panel. And like I said, here in a little bit, you'll see another video of that solar generator or whatever you want to call it for from the parts of this thing. So all right, now that that's out, let's see. Now I feel a little bit better about cutting that. We'll let it pivot right there. We're gonna leave that, I believe. So I want to use this because it already pivots inside of this frame. So my plan is to use make a gate out of this. So I mean it's like perfect. I don't even have to weld it up. I'll have to weld on a new piece down there, like across here. But yep, we'll cut that off. Problem is it's just it's a pretty crazy weld. I'll absolutely butcher that piece of steel if I do that. Let's see. Let's see how much steel we've got lengthwise. If we just cut it off here, it'd be 45 inches. That would mean that the ramp would be connected here, 45. That's not too steep. Question is, but it looks stupid up here. No. 51 actually might look stupid. All right. We'll cut it right here. From there. If we need to add more on, I guess I can. There's plenty of steel here. I got stuff chilling in the corner here, so. But probably need to brace that side. All right. Dude, that thing's heavy. Jeez. I want this piece too, so I guess we'll go ahead and cut that too. Yeah. Okay. Now it's time to remove this thing. I hope you're scared, because I'm scared. This thing's heavy. The other problem I see is once I take this thing out, how in the world am I going to get it out from underneath there? Guess we'll find out soon enough. Okay, there's one. I didn't really think about that. Well, I guess that makes it easy to get this out. That's a positive. I guess let's do that. Well, maybe not as easy as I would hope, but oh my goodness sakes. I don't know what's in there. If it's, I would imagine it's concrete just because it's cheap, but I guess it could be lead, but that's a lot of lead if it is. Not nearly as cheap. Oh yeah, baby. Oh my goodness. Oh my. All right. Boom. That's out of the way. Now how heavy is this end? It's pretty stinking heavy. Okay. All right. Now if you could just hold this here. That'd be great. Let's do this. We're just gonna take these batteries out. So then maybe your boy can lift it out. Lift it up. Yeah. Boom. Crisis averted. Which, if I would have just put this jack down, or one of those, it would have been fixed anyways, but whatever. Okay. We're getting close, boys. Oh, boy. Of course. I didn't learn. Let's pull this jack out. How about that? These were bent before. I didn't bend them. Okay. Alright. Let me pick up some stuff here. Okay, so now we gotta figure out how to get this box out of here. Yeah. Like I said, I already unbolted this. I don't know when that was, a while ago. My jack isn't big enough. Maybe we can just muscle it out. Let's give it a shot. The problem is there's this upper bar, which is perfect for a trailer. Not great for getting out this thing, I'll tell you that. Oh, it's not bad. I don't want to crush my fingers though. Problem is it has to go up, like the same amount. We're gonna try this car jack. Maybe it'll get up far enough, that way I can like teeter it out. It only has maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch on each side. Yeah, it's not tall enough. I'll try these blocks here. Let's see if I can not lose my fingers. That's the goal. Don't lose the fingers. Don't lose the fingers. I don't like anything about this. Ow. So now if it falls, my fingers will hurt really bad. But maybe I won't lose them. Oh, Bessie. Come on. Ow. Okay. Boy, is it caught on something? Ow. I don't know why it wasn't coming out of there. That did hurt. Well. Huh. I don't know what it was caught on, but now that it's falling down here, maybe we can just take it out from the bottom. That'd be pretty sick. See if we can make this happen. Yeah, it doesn't like these plugs on the side. There we go. There goes one. Well, I may have just screwed myself. Alright, well. Oh yeah, baby. I think we're getting somewhere. Not the most elegant way. I think we're getting somewhere. Oh! You guys are probably yelling at me the entire time. This stupid wire is still connected. That's annoying. Yeah, there's no way. Alright. Cut the wire, I suppose. Wash the toes. I hope you guys got your steel toes on today. I've been quite a few times when they may have come in handy. Alright. That wire's not going to be a problem anymore. We're so close, I can taste it. There it goes. Haha. Okay, we're so close. Finally. An hour in, boys. Trailer is knackered. Until next video. All right, keep going. Oh yeah. I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but I am excited. Okay. Just trying to figure out what else we need to do. We can go ahead and take this thing off. We don't need that. What is that? 9/16? Something like that. So this bar needs to be cut off. I know that. Angle. Yeah. Let's go ahead and cut this off. But let's get these back jacks off too eventually. Let's give it a shot, I suppose. Blade is getting dull. Let's try to get these things off first, I suppose. It took longer than anticipated. It's done. Alright, a little bit of change of plans. You saw me weld on these plugs. That's great. Obviously, I'm not the best welder. You can roast me in the comments. I really don't care. But nonetheless, changing some things up here in the front. I was going to weld this tongue on, but I think this feature is actually really nice. Being able to remove it just for security reasons. I mean, how are they going to even pull it if it doesn't have a tongue? Of course, there's ways that they could do it, but it makes it much more difficult. I have this little U-bolt set up here, which basically just tightens down. It's for the opposite end. It's for over here on the vehicle side. That would tighten the hitch down so it doesn't bounce around like crazy. I've had that just chilling over there. I'm gonna run it with this thing on, and if worse comes to worse, I run a bead across there. That pin will always be in there no matter what. Whether it's removable or not, but I just can't weld the inside of that tube. I can't get inside of the tube because this tongue actually stops about right here in this receptacle, so it makes it really difficult. There's about 8 inches or so that I just can't get my my welder in there. But nonetheless, we're gonna run it like this for a little bit. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna weld that U-bolt. I'm just going to put a weld right across there. That way it won't jostle around as much. And I've got it torsioned this way. My thought process is once there's weight on it,
it will be pushed up that way. This thing, you would think that it pulls it down, but it should, in my thought process, should actually lift this tongue up. So, but I am gonna weld that on, and then we'll go from there. Okay, you saw me. I brought in some wood, some 2x10s and one 2x8. I went ahead and ripped this down on my table saw, and of course cut off the ends because they were just 8-foot boards. They were too long. But it looks like we got a pretty nice tight fit after ripping this down on the table saw. It's all treated lumber, so it should last for a long time. I'll have to go to the steel store tomorrow to pick up some angle iron in order to cap this. We're going to put a piece of angle here and up top. We'll weld it in, and then if I ever have to change the boards, I just hope that I don't. But with this mocked in, we can go ahead and start working on the gate, and we'll go from there. But now we have the height of the deck, and it's so much easier than doing a scrap 2x4 or something. So yeah. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this so far. I am pretty excited. All right, so just welded this piece on here just for some more support. I have some expanded metal. Well, I guess it's more like hog panel in stock. We'll put that on here. Now I just got to figure out the mechanism to allow it to fold down, which I've done that before. It's been pretty easy, but like I said earlier in the video, what I want to do is have it lay down when not in use, or at least I have that option. So then also a pallet truck forklift can come in from the back here and put the pallet down on the folded down gate. Otherwise, pallet truck will just ruin this, but we'll give it a shot. What I'm concerned with is, of course I can pivot it right here, but that makes the gate really high when it comes back. I don't want to do that, so I think what we're going to end up doing is making a piece that's welded onto here that then pivots all the way down in the corner. So welded here, pivoting in the corner like behind the wood. We might have to notch out the wood, which is fine. I don't know if I'll use these pins or not. If I do, I'll have to shorten them. But those are the original pins from the mechanism with the heavy weight on it. So, I mean, I know they'll work, and we have bushings for them. What do you guys think? See, if I put a
spacer here. Of course, it's not going to be as high. Not a spacer, a bracket here in the corner. It's not going to be as high, but it will have a gap here for as wide as that distance is to there. Which I guess that's not super terrible, but it is if you're using like a furniture dolly or something with small wheels. It could even get caught in there. Or if you're on an incline, of course that gap's going to get even bigger. But right now I don't know of any other options that we have to accomplish what I want, at least. I do think that we may need to get the expanded metal on there first, because if we don't and we make the bracket, or at least, you know, we at least need to account for it, but if we make the bracket, then it won't even close all the way because we'll be jamming up in here. So maybe we get the expanded metal on first. Keep thinking about the hinge mechanism, which I kind of like the idea that we were just discussing. I think it's going to be the best case scenario. But I do think I want to paint this white, but I don't want the expanded metal painted, so maybe we just account for it, build it, you know, build the brackets, weld them on, paint it, get the hinge mechanism working, and then add the expanded metal at the end. Everything else doesn't have to be in that order, but adding the expanded metal at the end is probably the best. So I'll go measure the hog panel or expanded metal that I got, and then we'll make some spacers or something. That way we can account for that. Okay, so it's half an inch thick. Okay, so the hog panel is half an inch thick. So we'll make some half-inch spacers or something in order to raise that up, get some washers going or something. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. We got the trailer. We've got the ramp. The problem we have right now is if we connect it on the back, just like most trailers, if it pivots, it'll be flat up like this. You'll be hitting the trailer frame, and it will not be able to bend further, right? So my thought is, this is the solution I came up with. We're gonna see if it works. Is this bracket. So with this bracket, we're gonna tape this sucker onto here. I think my tape's too big. There we go. Okay. So with this bracket, it'll be able to position it lower. Of course, there'll be a gap here. I don't know of a perfect solution other than this, which is still not perfect, but whatever. So you can still have the angle that's lower than, you know, if you mounted it straight up top where you'd have this drop off. So with this bracket, if it pivots on the trailer itself, you'll be able to lift it up. Of course, there's that gap again, but you should be able to put it all the way down as well. So of course this would have to be angled like that. So anyways, like that, and then like that. So that's what we're gonna try to do. We'll see if it works.
All right, just want to take you around and give you a quick recap on what we just did. Obviously, I cut that panel. We'll weld that on after I paint this. I'm actually thinking on leaving this flat black and just touching up with spray paint because I believe it's all powder coated, so that powder coating is going to last a lot longer. So I think I'll just touch that up with flat black. But this is the bracket that we made. Of course, you saw many iterations of that as we tacked it on and whatnot, but finished welding it on. We welded this in fully, this angle, picked this up today at my steel store, and then welded in this one up top. It's just welded here and here. Earlier I was telling you guys that I wasn't quite sure what I would be doing. I want to be able to service this wood if needed. I don't think I ever will. Hopefully I won't, but nonetheless, it's just welded there. If I need to take it off, I could just cut it off with an angle grinder. It doesn't seem like the boards are too loose or too tight right now. Should be plenty of room for expanding, contracting, mostly expanding, but nonetheless, I also had to cut these grooves out a little bit bigger to accommodate for the hinge, but I'm really happy with the way that this is all turning out. So I've got some LED lights that I'll put on, and then of course, like I had said, I'm thinking I'll cut both of these off and relocate one to the tongue somewhere, or maybe even up here. That might make more sense for me, just because the tongue is removable. But now that I think about it, actually, since I added this, it's not going to be flat, so I'm not sure what I'll do. Maybe I'll just leave both of them on there. Nothing's hurting that, so why not? Let's just leave those. But we'll put these LED lights on. We'll do that right now.
So I had to wait for these pins to come in the mail, but I'm actually super excited about these. I think these will work well. They have like ball detent pins that once you push this lever on the bottom, actually like go into the machine. So it's like you don't even have to have a security pin on one side. My plan is to put them on the side of the trailer, like through here, through that bracket. It shouldn't ever support weight except for the weight of the trailer. So yeah, we're gonna drill some holes, get these things mounted, and then go ahead and get this thing painted, then put the ramp on, and it should be about done. So we're almost done. You saw me weld on the hog panel onto the ramp here, and paint up some stuff. It's gonna be constantly painted just because I keep messing it up. But nonetheless, I want to do one more thing. At least right now, one more thing. I want to make a bracket that goes from the frame of the trailer to the ramp. Essentially, what I want to do is make it so the ramp stays on the same plane as the deck here. That way it turns this 4x6 trailer into essentially a 4x10 trailer. Of course, it can't hold nearly as much weight on the ramp, no matter the bracket, but it would be good for something like a sofa or really long lumber, you know. That way they don't have to stick it, you know, up and over the ramp or in the front of the trailer. So we'll get started on that. I don't know if I'm going to be finishing that today. It might be a different day, so I might have different clothes on next time you see me. But I think we're going to use these pieces of steel here from the display cabinet thing. I'm just going to clean these up for now, and basically there's about ½ an inch worth of material, worth of space between here and the inside of the ramp. So this is ½ inch or 3/8 inch material rather. And so I might not even have to cut these, they're pretty beefy. And they'll just go right there. If they pivot, I'm thinking right now anyways, I'm thinking if I have it on a bolt here, I can have it pivot up and out of the way. It would just slide right along the side here. Look pretty good. Wouldn't really jostle around, doesn't take up much real estate within the thing, but then when in use, it pivots up and over and down. And that's it. So let's get started.
you.
Okay, it's time to give this a shot. I'm excited. Should be able to just get these out. One of them will come off. Got a couple pins here. Hopefully everything measured right. Ah, that's exciting. And the other one. True test, see if it fits. Get them both lined up here. I gotta make some adjustments. I think this one. Not quite. This one bigger too, I guess. All it took. And of course we could put these pins in it, but yeah. Right on, take a look at that. That looks pretty sweet. Now I don't know, it might tip because of the weight here. Yeah, it's too heavy. I'm back in now, without being hooked up to a vehicle or something. But yeah, that's pretty sweet. I'm so pleased with that.
That's awesome. And those things can stay captive in there, and I'll throw the extra 2 pins in the tub with all the straps. So I think other than a winch up here in the front, I think we're about done. I am so excited. This has turned out really well. I think it'll be great for me. So I got some sticker to put on my horrible welds in the back end here. And make it look a little nicer, I think. I also was thinking I should add the sticker back here. That way it'll be extended, so those stickers are reflective. So yeah, so let's have those stickers. I got some touch-up paint to do on all the holes and everything. I gotta deburr the holes. So yeah, awesome. Thanks again for sticking around. It means a lot that you guys are watching my content. So thank you. Okay, so I just picked up this winch from Harbor Freight. We're gonna try to get this thing mounted. I'm thinking of on this top bar here centered. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alright, here she is completed from where we started to where we are today. I'm very satisfied with this. We ended up taking all this unnecessary stuff off from the speed sign trailer. Used a lot of that steel in order to make this. In fact, I think the only steel that wasn't a part of this were the little L brackets on the hinges here, along with the hog panel, of course. Otherwise, everything else was there. Oh, and the bracket for the winch there. But otherwise, everything was with the trailer, which was really nice. Of course, we fabricated and put a deck on. We fabricated this ramp here that folds down at an angle and then all the way down flat with these brackets here. Put new lights on, relocated the winch, worked on the hitch system in order to get that a little bit more solid, and put some toe points on it. Now that I say it out loud, it does not sound like a ton of work, but I had over 16 hours, or no, yeah, something like that, 16 hours worth of footage. So that's 16 hours worth of man labor, actually a little bit more than that. That's off camera for this thing, but this winch is pretty nice. I opted for this rather than like a boat winch because first off, I didn't want to run electrical stuff for this and it's all worm gear stuff, so there's no like safety click type deal going on. It just uses the friction between the two gears. I like it a lot. Cheap Harbor Freight thing that worked out pretty well. But yeah, I'll give you guys some close-ups of this thing and enjoy. This is easily my favorite feature of this trailer. Turn it into a flatbed here. Well, an extended bed. So that's pretty cool. It adds another 4 foot worth of bed space. And like I've said earlier, this isn't meant for a ton of weight, but if you got a big couch or something, you could definitely put it on there. So what I also like is that this thing folds flat down, so then a forklift can still come in here and put a full skid of stuff on there. So I'll show you that right now. There you go. You can still put a skid right on top of it. It's plenty strong enough. I'm just really pleased with this trailer and how it came out. If you have any suggestions, leave in the comments below, and God bless.